You too.
Democracy is the bedrock foundation on which the American experience is lived each day. But today, American satisfaction with the way democracy is working is at a record low, with little agreement over the causes of dissatisfaction and what is to be done. The Kettering Foundation and Gallup are launching the Democracy for All project. A new national survey will evaluate how Americans perceive and experience democracy. Today, I have Brad Rourke, Chief External Affairs Officer of the Kettering Foundation, and Gallup's Research Director, Dr. Ellen Maese, join us to discuss the project. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning, James.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. Mr. Rourke, explain what the Democracy for All project is about and why it's significant at this particular moment in time.
Yeah, James, you hit the nail on the head. American satisfaction with democracy is at a critical low. It's been going down for decades. People disagree about why that is. And we think there really is just no better time to be asking the kinds of questions that we want to ask in this nonpartisan research, which really gets at everyday Americans' daily lives, hopes, frustrations, sense of opportunity, sense of community. And we think that asking questions that get at those aspects will help us understand what is shaping Americans' satisfaction and understanding of democracy today.
Mr. Rourke, what would you say is the difference between the traditional definition of democracy versus the Americans' public's current perception?
Democracy has been evolving and growing on for centuries, and we're talking here about how is it that people feel about democracy today. And so what we think is that we can get past textbook definitions that in the past have traditionally been got at through questions like, how do you feel about the Supreme Court, or what do you think about the institution of Congress, and really get at questions that we hope will get at how included people feel in democracy. Is my voice heard, and does it matter? Am I treated fairly? If I have a problem, do I feel like the community is ready to step up? And am I willing and able to step up for the community? Are my basic needs being met? We think that by getting at people's daily lives, we can have a better understanding of what shapes their attitudes towards today's democracy.
Dr. Maese, what are the key elements to this survey and what do you think it will show?
Look, I think we can all agree we've heard a lot of talk about our democracy for quite a few years now, and we're certainly not the first to think it's a good idea to do some research here on this topic. But this research is really different from a lot of what's out there. First, as Mr. Rourke was saying, this is a survey about how Americans feel. We're getting at their underlying feelings that the system works and that it works for them, that it represents their voices and their needs, and that they have opportunities to be included in the system, that they can take part, or if they even want to take part in the system, which is another question we need to answer right now. It's also our opportunity as researchers to do our part to make sure that all voices are being heard. There's a really big question for a lot of us about whose opinions and whose perceptions are being included in conversations about democracy. And we have the opportunity here to make sure that every American, all Americans from all walks of life, get the opportunity to say what they think. It's also our opportunity to build something that will last for, we hope, generations, to be able to track the evolution of Americans' democracy. We're using annual measurements to keep a pulse on what's going on in this country, understand where we're able to make improvements, see where there's emerging challenges that we need to get ahead of to keep our American democracy really strong and thriving for the years to come.
Doctor, what insights do you hope this research will uncover to help strengthen democracy and ensure it remains the foundation of our experiences?
There's a lot of work to be done in this country right now. And to make that work count, we need to get a better sense of why Americans feel so disconnected and dissatisfied with democracy. We need to dig deeper into their hopes and values, their fears and frustrations. All of that figures into how they think and feel about our democracy right now. We need to understand where there are differences of opinion about what's not working in democracy and who's feeling left out. There are Americans out there that think they are just not valued or respected or taken seriously in this country. How do we bring them back into feeling like they are a part of the system and included in America's democracy? Where are there shared experiences and points of unity about what can be done to change the course of our democracy in the future, to make people feel not only a sense of trust and confidence, but a sense of being belonging into this system?
Now, where can our viewers see these findings and get more information?
Your viewers can go to gallup.com/democracy to learn more. And in the fall, we're going to be releasing a major report that goes in detail into the findings and kickstarting a national conversation about what they mean.
Mr. Rourke, Dr. Maese, thank you so much for joining us on Morning Blend. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks so much for having us today.
Thank you all.